Pyrocynical lied in his initial response video. The video succinctly highlights how Pyrocynical not only played down his behavior, but also minimized the situation and actively took of a fan of his called Ivory Rasmus.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, viewers, in today's video we are yet again taking a look at the Pyrocynical Parlo situation. In the last video covering this situation, we took a look at the horrific mishandling of it by Parlo. More importantly, the mishandling of Parlo's almost 2-hour Pyrocynical video. Since my video dropped just a little over a week ago now, Parlo's video has come out, and even a second video by Parlo on Pyrocynical has also been released alongside a lot of other updates. But before we get into any of that, if you haven't already, please consider leave like, subscribing, and hit the notification bell. It really helps with the channel, especially if you do enjoy the content. But without further ado, let's dive into the situation at hand. But firstly, with this, Parlo did drop his almost 2-hour Pyrocynical video. Now this is the video that we took a look at last video and how horrifically this was mishandled, being handed to several small commentary streamers before it was even publicly released, as Parlo literally couldn't physically release it on his main channel, basically leading him to uploading it on his second channel, and of course the results of that are what you expected. It just didn't do very well. To be honest, after this 2-hour long video came out, I honestly didn't think that Parlo would pursue it any further, even if it did do well. Because ultimately, Parlo is dealing with lots of other situations. He was arrested, he has got lots of strikes on his YouTube channel, and even most recently, after that video was posted, he tagged his Discord server to say that his dad allegedly tried to strangle and kill him. So, you know, after that, I didn't particularly expect anything else to come from the situation. But ultimately, I was very wrong, because I got a tag from Parlo's Discord server saying main channel bombshell dropping in 90 minutes. This video ultimately didn't get delayed, which is an absolute shock to the system. I didn't think that Parlo could manage to do a Pyrocynical video without delaying it heavily, but this video is 16 minutes long and a condensed version of Parlo's almost 2-hour long video. Everyone, massive new video, spread this everywhere to all corners of the internet. Pyrocynical was always guilty, like and share this. This condensed version of Parlo's almost 2-hour long video is exactly what he should have been focusing on instead of the 2-hour slugfest that ultimately got uploaded onto his second channel. Ultimately, a 16-minute video is way more reasonable to the average viewer and does appeal to a wider demographic of people, even people that are just slightly interested in the Pyrocynical situation or just want to know what's going on and who don't have the time to watch a 2-hour long Parlo video.
However, this entire alibi is a lie. Pyrocynical was on Twitter and referenced it for information many times in videos created in the time period where he claims he wasn't on the site.
The only tweet I could find that had any relevance: guys, I go for a few days on Holy Day, so I can't upload. I'm sorry. Have a nice day, guys. I don't know why. If you go on YouTube's Twitter, their bio says, lol, watch this.
Pyrocynical also directly engaged with and saw Ivory's tweets during the same time period too, contradicting his own defense and narrative. Even worse for Niall was the fact that he claims he only knew Ivory to be a as of July the 5th, 2017, when he had his age present in his Twitter bio. But there is a massive hole in this defense. Ivory, in numerous circumstances, made it known that he had school, that he had classes, and that his mum wouldn't even give him presents until his school year was over. Ivory also made it known on May the 6th, 2017, a whole 2 months before July the 5th, 2017, that he would need a fake ID in order to get into an adult bar to get access to when he met up with Niall in the UK. In all these collective instances, Pyrocynical should have clearly discerned that Ivory was most likely, and any reasonable person, if they didn't know the age of the person that they were messaging, which is what Pyrocynical is claiming, would have then asked the person that they are messaging for their age.
Something you'll notice as well in this 16-minute video is it just isn't nearly as repetitive as the 2-hour long video that Parlo originally made. He acted on the criticism there and the video flows a lot better. You can actually get the information in a lot more clear and reasonable way. Ultimately as well, what this 16-minute video does as well is kind of negate this piece of criticism and piece of information that Pyrocynical put out there in his initial response.
101 pages is insane. I think that's the worst thing as well. Like, it was almost made like as bloated as possible. So when people see 300 pages, because let's be real, right? Everyone's attention span right now is fried. You got IG Reels, you got TikTok, you got YouTube Shorts. Very few people have the attention span to even watch a film without checking their phone. So most people see 300 pages and then it's like, okay, he's guilty. That's it. There's like an insurmountable amount of evidence here. He's guilty. We've got him. So, you know.
And that same argument can easily be applied to Parlo's 2-hour-long slugfest of a video. Now that 16-minute video comes out, that kind of negates that argument. And as well, in a shocking turn of events, Parlo has also released a new condensed document of just specifically new alleged victims. Everyone please like and repost this tweet. It goes over all the new allegations against Pyrocynical, help spread this across Twitter so more people know. The tweet then reads, trigger warning, grooming Pyrocynical, a YouTuber with 4+ million subscribers, has been exposed for allegedly messaging and numerous minors, many to which he knew the age of. These allegations involve minors who are 12 to 16 years of age. This document will focus on summarizing and proving that Pyrocynical has numerous victims in which he inappropriately messaged. Now is on record engaging in with minors, posting NSFW to minors, soliciting NSFW content, pushing them to create fetish artwork, as well as engaging in their erotic fantasies. Pyrocynical knew the age of multiple minors. There's also something towards the end of the document that Parlo writes that I actually kind of want to read out in this video. Where the ability is available, Pyrocynical will be sure to take any option that gives him the benefit of the doubt, even if that means flat out lying, unless he is pushed on his stance with new evidence and public opinion starts breaking against him, to which he will then be seen gradually admitting more and more, only to the point where he is still able to have a path to weasel his way out of the situation. Even if we were to be extremely charitable, Niall cannot continuously use the I didn't know the age excuse, especially when he used it in reference to Ivory, and it was more probable than not that he knew that Ivory was probably a minor long before Ivory ever sent a link to his Twitter with his age present in his bio. Yet because there is no conclusive evidence of Ivory stating his age verbatim, he took the only route available by feigning ignorance. Pyrocynical just didn't expect that someone would comprehensively go over the numerous red flags and incidences of Ivory heavily alluding to the fact that he was a minor, which directly starts to break down his response. He has unfortunately up to now been able to consistently play this off as a joke to avoid accountability because his fanbase don't see how immoral this behaviour actually is. There's an undeniable pattern of minors who Pyrocynical has been proven to have been in contact with or mutuals with coming out over the years accusing of inappropriate conduct. However, people continue to constantly make excuses and play down the situation instead of processing that clearly some malicious pattern of behaviour is being unravelled here. There's also a bit of the document that does focus on the struggle of actually trying to talk to alleged victims of Pyrocynical due to the pressures around it. I implore you, if you are somebody that hasn't read the 300-page document or watched the 2-hour-long video, but you simply just do not have the time to do those things, that you go and check out the 16-minute long video and the new victims document, especially if you want to just know a bit more about the situation, what's actually going on between Parlo, Pyrocynical, and all of this stuff. Then from there, you can make a judgment for yourself for what you want to believe. If you can't be bothered to read the new condensed document, well, you're in luck, because it seems like Parlo is releasing another video going over the new victims. This is something that we knew he would do, but I didn't actually expect him to end up going through with it at this point in the situation. Parlo writes, massive news, very large video out soon going over the new allegations of Pyrocynical involving 16, 15 alleged 14-year-olds that Pyrocynical engaged with while he was an adult. Proof, videos, and receipts will be provided. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about is yet again Parlo going at Pyrocynical fans, as that's the most recent thing that Parlo has done here. The question Parlo responded to is the Parlo video was actually disappointing, so I decided to force myself and watch the Parlo video on Pyrocynical situation, and here's what I gathered. Parlo used commonly known information that was already addressed by Pyrocynical. His reasoning was stupid, as Pyrocynical didn't know the person was at the time 15, even addressing the allegations here. While Parlo recently also had been in a similar situation, yet he isn't calling himself a groomer, and his fans are actively supporting him while he blames it on mental health. Some proof screenshots feel extremely fabricated, similar to what happened with Bob Game. Some of the points they're making here very much comes across like this person just didn't properly watch the video. They also then say about, the possibility that some of the evidence that Parlo uses is fabricated, but they don't actually point to any of the evidence that they believe could possibly be fabricated. Parlo responded by saying Pyrocynical fans have been coping hard, claiming the proof is fake and deflecting with false allegations. It is getting extremely sad now. If I'm an EDP for being catfished and lied to about someone's age, then what is Pyrocynical who dated and engaged with minors? That's what the situation is at, but what do you, the viewer, think about this? Have you watched Parlo's brand new video? If so, what do you think about that? Please feel free to comment down below all your thoughts. I'll be very interested to see what you, the viewer, has to actually say about this. But you've been watching Slop Meal, I've been your host Samuel, and I will catch you in the next YouTube video. Goodbye.